And we should be live. Good morning. If you are live with us right now, you are so welcome. Thank you for coming in for this Saturday morning running show. And if you're watching on a replay, you're equally welcome as well. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Ray Whitby, and I'm from the Aspiring Runners YouTube channel, and it's my privilege to bring you the first ever Eastbourne Parkrun Lockdown Livestream event. Now, I do know that that is quite a mouthful of a title, and we're going to have to change that shortly. But please grab some coffee, grab some toast, and let's go. Now, coming up in the program, we've got the impact of coronavirus on running events in the UK, and hopefully we'll have some interactive members from around the world telling us what's happening in their government, in their territory. We should also be looking at what's the best footwear you can put on your feet this summer. We'll also be looking at an upcoming virtual running event. But I'm not alone in this venture this morning. In the studio, we have our race director, Simon Jones. Simon, good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, morning, Ray. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So I've already heard that you've been up and out for a run.
Yes, I have. I've already been out and registered my freedom run for the day for Parkrun. So
fantastic. Now, for those watching, we do want you to participate, and you can do that by commenting on the right hand of your YouTube screen. So all you've got to do is register or log in with a Google account. It will then ask you, do you want to publish videos? Just click yes. You don't have to publish videos straight away, but it will allow you to comment. Now, they do that for security. It's just an informality, but with a registered account, you can start commenting, and we'd love for you to put in comments as we go along. And I think what we should actually do straight away, Simon, is just explain to the community out there right now, what is the current status of Parkrun, please?
Well, Parkrun is currently under lockdown, so there are no active Parkrun events at all worldwide. There is talk that potentially New Zealand, who have got no active cases at the moment, may be looking to come on board in the near future, but until the end of June there are no active Parkrun events happening at all. So that's the current state of play, really.
Fantastic, that's right. And just to say that Parkrun HQ in the UK do have a weekly update. All you've got to do is go on to blog.parkrun.com, and the URL will be in the description below this video. And they will have an ongoing update each week. I think it's every Tuesday they publish their advice, and it's really important for anybody that's associated with Parkrun to heed that advice. We are not running right now. And just to say that this particular program, we're probably looking at about 30 to 40 minutes. There is a Parkrun HQ live stream quiz also on YouTube, so you need to log on to that after we've finished with this show. But I think right now what we should do is get on with ours. But before we go any further, just some comments, or sorry, rules on commenting, if I may. Just to say that in number one, we've got do not share any personal information. Really important that you're keeping yourself safe and other people. Also, to keep it clean, keep the comments clean. We hope to have a family show with all sorts of members involved. So please be also respectful, diverse beliefs and philosophies. And then the last, fourth one, put question marks before and after comments if you can. So that in the comments as they're coming up, if we have too many comments at one time, we'll probably just see them disappear through the screen. So if you highlight them, hopefully we'll have a moderator. I just ask for Ben, Debs, Nat, Mike, Pam, whoever is out there on the leadership team for Parkrun Eastbourne, please try and let us know through texting or through email. And if you do want to contact this show, just write to aspiringrunners@gmail.com. So with that said and done, I think what we've got to find out straight away is who is watching on the live stream and is farthest away from the Eastbourne Parkrun start line. So who's the farthest away from Shinewater Park? Now, if you don't know where we are, if you've never heard of Eastbourne Parkrun or even a parkrun, we'll get to that in a moment, but just go into Google Maps, type in Shinewater Park, Eastbourne, UK, and then you'll find roughly where we are. So we need to find out who is the farthest from the start line. If you can comment in the comment section, we'll flag it up and you'll get some kudos. Not only kudos, but I should also say a prize. And the prize this morning is a bar of dairy milk. Now, because of lockdown rules, of course, I'm going to have to eat it for you, but you'll take away all the kudos and leave me with a very happy smile and probably having to run even longer to burn off all those calories. So getting on with that, Simon, I think for all our runners around the world, the global community, I've got friends in America who have never even heard of Parkrun before. I was wondering if you could just explain what it is and why we do it.
Yeah, Parkrun is a free weekly community event held all around the world in various locations. Obviously not in some locations, but in quite a few countries around the world. They take place on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. And basically it's a 5K community run. So you can run, walk, jog, volunteer, spectate at your leisure. No one comes last. It's just an all-inclusive event for anyone, really. So and the reason we do it is we love to run, we love to walk, we love to jog, we love to spectate, we love to volunteer, and we just love to be part of a community. So I know I'm certainly missing it, the parkrun community, and hopefully this is a way of us just getting to grips and getting to say hello to the community and the parkrun community as a whole.
That's right. And with the standard park runs, one of the critical things is about bringing people together. It's not just a case of getting people excited about running, but actually it's also about the community as well. And very much after the park runs have completed, been packed away, we're also gathering for tea, coffee, and a quick catch up too. So community is very much an essential part of the parkrun ethos as well. But right now it's all about staying safe. So please follow Parkrun HQ guidance for that. And if we can just jump into some very quick catch up in the news items. We have the update we've just gone through, so please pay attention. I've got the URL there and in the description below. And let's go on to the Parkrun HQ. They've just announced the Not Parkrun. Now, for those that are involved in the Eastbourne Parkrun community, we've been promoting the Freedom Parkrun. And just this week, Parkrun HQ have said, now we've got the Not Parkrun. Now, if you're confused, well, you're in good company, so was I. But Simon, come on, explain it to us.
Right. Well, freedom runs are if you can't make your park run on a Saturday morning, then you can go out and run the course the park run course of your choosing, and then register your time on a freedom run on your profile through the Parkrun website. But Not Parkrun is coming out and is not restricting you to running on the Parkrun course. So you can actually go out and run, walk, jog a 5K of your choosing anywhere that you want to, and then register it as well. So that's really the main difference. I know people have probably been registering because obviously we've not been trying to get people out to our local parkrun, Shinewater, to do the 5Ks on Saturday mornings. I think people have been using their discretion and running probably more local to them. But the Not Parkrun is basically giving you that freedom to run the 5K wherever you want, really.
Yeah, fantastic. And I've just got to ask, the time that you had this morning, are we allowed to know yet, or do we have to wait for the big announcement?
I did register. Well, I went out. It's my first run in a week due to a little niggling injury, but I did go out and run a 21:08. So
21:08. Okay, Eastbourne Park runners, you have got less than an hour in which to sort that out. But don't miss this show. We've got a few more things coming up of interest. Next on the news item, we're looking at government guidance and England athletics, and at the moment they've said they are allowing up to 6 runners out there, as long as they are socially distanced, or 1 coach and 5 runners. The idea basically is it's non-contact. You shouldn't be training for anything else like the relay race unless you're swapping the baton for a javelin that's at least 2 meters long. But other than that, it really is about just small group training at distance, and just generally being safe. And then we've got an upcoming virtual event. Simon, do you want to explain a bit more about that for us, please?
Yeah, well, we're trying to obviously increase the freedom runs, and obviously now the Not Park runs, as they're now going to be probably called going forward. But on the 4th of July, which a lot of us will probably know is American Independence Day, we're looking to do our Eastbourne Parkrun Stars and Strides Day. So try and get as many people within the Eastbourne community, Eastbourne Parkrun community, and elsewhere to log a virtual Not Parkrun freedom run on that day, to see how far we can get So we're obviously using the Stars and Stripes motto, but Stars and Strides. So we can actually go out and see how far away from Eastbourne we can run. It's a little bit weird, but see how many kilometres away from there we can get. So, it's all a bit of fun, but it's just to, keep everyone, the community together and the running spirit going, really.
That's right, and there are many other groups that are trying to do their thing as well. We're trying to do our part, and the secretary from Polegate Plodders, Thomas, has just said this, that they're offering 5 sessions per week with a coach plus 5 runners. So thanks for letting us know, Thomas. And just to say that we've got John Newman at the moment leading the farthest distance away from the Eastbourne Parkrun. Start line is 102 miles away in the Grand Union Canal. And I've just heard that Mike Thompson has jumped in his car and is busy trying to bomb up the motorway as safely as possible, and within the correct speed limits, of course. Competition. I mean, we say, what is parkrun? It is a run, not a race. But it still doesn't mean that there isn't a little bit of competitive spirit from time to time, as long as it's done in good humour and good faith. Right, let's get on with the show. We have this discussion topic. On your mark, get set, wait. Now, gov.uk have issued stage 3 of their 5-stage program for implementing elite sport and returning back to full competition, at least domestic competition. And all we want to do this morning is just really try to look at the impact it has on running events. Now, these particular stages, if you actually read the language, it's quite incredible just how insightful it seems to be. It's one of the first documents I've read from government that I get reassured at. It seems as though they are actually listening to medical professional advice. And within it, it's trying to set up the infrastructure to protect the elite athletes, but you're also looking at trying to protect the training staff, first aiders, physiotherapists, etc. Then they're trying to protect medical responses as well. They've got coronavirus testing that has to be established for it, just so that they can go through these hurdles to ensure that the environment is safe. So stage 3 right now is domestic competitions. Those are held behind closed doors, so no spectators at all, but they have to have all the infrastructure in place before they can begin. Now, how does this actually impact the running community? Well, at the moment, it is stressing that it's just for the elites, but I think out of this documentation, what we're seeing is the mindset of government and what they may allow over the coming months and coming year before, we hope, a coronavirus vaccine is found. And there are some running events that are still being planned for later this year. In particular, and this isn't to pick on them, but I know that the New Forest Marathon is happening in September 2020, and going onto their Facebook page, they are still keen to attract participants. And what they've said is, we know that it's happening. We've seen this documentation. We are following the current guidelines, of course, but we are hoping that we can come up with a solution. That if we can follow these guidelines, we will have permission to run. But of course, we need to keep the runners safe. Now, if we reduce the field from, say, 10,000, I don't know what they get year on year, but let's just say it's 10,000 to 2,000. We're running in an open space. If we have the marshals, we have the first aiders, we've taken care of everything. I mean, I don't know how they're going to police these spectators for such an event, but if they can set everything up, they want to run. But I guess the question is for us that even if it's possible to run in these events, should we be doing it or will we be doing it? Now, I've got a couple of friends, they're nurses in the NHS. Hopefully they're actually here. Just give a big shout out on the comments, please. And, they say I have to wear a face mask, 10, 12 plus hours a day. I come home, the last thing I want to do is shove on a face mask to go and have a run. Now, I enjoy the running. I want to go and run this half marathon, that marathon, but I don't want to then have to put on all this rigmarole, the PPE, because it's just a big reminder of work. I want to come home and relax. So I can totally understand where they're coming from. I think the question to our viewers out there right now is, if the event is going ahead and they could make every reasonable step, they could take every reasonable step to make it safe, you could have PPE, you felt that the structure was in place to keep people safe, would you still run before a vaccine is found? So if you just want to comment yes or no in the comments, it'd be great to get your feedback. But Simon, what are your thoughts on this?
I think I think as someone that's been running for 10, 12 years now and has competed in lots of different running events, I think the fact that it's only elites going back to doing the, some of the big events. So I know football's coming back in a couple of weeks in the UK and things like that. So I think it's a good idea that the events have been cancelled and suspended for the time being, or postponed until later on. I know London Marathon and Brighton Marathon are both due for October, subject to everything being okay. I've had events cancelled this year, but I've noticed that a lot of companies and a lot that organise these events have switched from, instead of having the community together events, have gone to more virtual events, and obviously Parkrun following suit with their Not Parkrun. So I quite enjoy the virtual events, purely for the fact that you still get your medal. You still can it's still competitive, but it's the only thing that's missing, which is the bit I do miss, is that the race atmosphere of, or running with other people in one go. So I think as it is at the moment, events are going to be different going forward until this vaccine, if a vaccine comes around, or until things become the new normal. I think we're going to be looking at things like virtual events and a lot smaller events taking place as well, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that.
Yes, and one of the comments that's come through, this is Jane. She says, "Yeah, I don't think there'll be a vaccine either. Somehow we'll just need to learn to live with this. And there are plenty of other risks out there, not just this one. But I think it's equally we're trying to think about the wider community, and one person getting exposed, how does that have a knock-on effect for others? We want people to be safe as possible. I think it is down to what are the risks, and how do we individually assess those risks, and what are we prepared to take, and what are we not prepared to take." But yeah, I think it is going to be a difficult one, because like yourself, getting into park runs and getting into running more seriously over the last few years, it's become a bit of an addiction, and it's really hard. It's really hard to just say, okay, enough of that, enough of the community. I've got to do things by myself for the foreseeable future, and that is tough. But equally, I think it's trying to find that balance. It's trying to find the risk and reward balance in life. So we just have to see how we get on.
For me, I love the race atmosphere. I love the running as a group. Parkrun has been fantastic for me. Just getting back into the running community and just running with people. Just the friendly faces you see on that Saturday morning, and the camaraderie you have on a start line of a 5K, 10K, half marathon, ultra marathon, endurance event, whatever it is, the camaraderie you have, that you're all there together. But then going from that to, I found to learn to love to run on my own again, and just putting the headphones in and just running. So, I found some new routes that some trails in Eastbourne I didn't even know existed. So there's been some massive positives out of this, really.
That's right.
There's obviously good, positive and negatives. And I think we just got to concentrate on the positives throughout all of this at the moment. So
yeah, I think the one missed opportunity that I've got is that I wish I invested in the Lonely Goats franchise, because I think their membership numbers must have escalated these past few months, and I think we just really missed out there. So a bit of a plug for the Lonely Goats out there. Although I think it's quite funny that when you go along to the parkrun start line, now Lonely Goats is about those who don't want to run with other people. It's a virtual running club, and yet there seems to be more Lonely Goat runners at the start line of a parkrun than there are vegan runners. I mean, that's how insane the group is now. So I think they have to strike out the lonely. It's just goats. Sorry. But obviously all running clubs, they're all in, there's not just, Lonely Goats and vegans. There's lots of other lovely clubs out there as well. But there's so many more of these clubs and different bits and pieces through social media. I seem to see different clubs sprouting up all over the place. It's great. It's absolutely great. Yeah. Right, let's get on with the next part of the show, and we're going to go into the quick quiz. So what we want is just for rules on the line. If you would like to type into the comments your answer, the first one that gets there will win major kudos points. The moderators will be checking the answers, but we'll give the full answers at the end. So the first person who gets it right, hopefully the moderators will pick that up for us. So for the very first park run, which was in Bushy Park, how many runners were there? How many runners were at that very first ever event of a park run? So put your comments in below. Question 2, in how many countries Does Parkrun operate? Now, obviously, we're in lockdown, so this is before lockdown occurred. And how many countries does Parkrun operate? And because it's a quick quiz, the final question, who is the record holder of the fastest parkrun time? Who's the record holder of the fastest parkrun time? Now, Simon, you are forbidden for sharing your insight and your knowledge on this, but we will go back to it. Right, let's look at this one. What is your running motto? Excuse me. So certainly if we're out there and we're running alone, we're going through training as well. I found this doing the marathon training for the Beachy Head last year. That was insane. And even doing the marathon itself, I needed a running motto just to keep myself going, keep my mind distracted. Simon, you have a running motto. What is it? Please share it with us and why.
Well, my running motto is always, since it's kind of been inspired from Finding Nemo and Dory's expression of just keep swimming. So for me, it's just keep going or just keep running. You know, with some of the endurance events that I've done over the years, you know, some of them are, you know, 12, 14 hours I've been running in, and I know that there are people out there that have done like ultra marathons that are out there for 20 hours plus. And for me, it's just that just keep going, because, you know, your body's so much stronger than your mind lets it believe. So, you know, if you just keep going, you'll get past that negativity and just keep going, really. So I just have Dory in my head and Ellen DeGeneres going, just keep running, just keep running. just gets to me at that time.
Yeah, and I've got something similar as well. I use KIS, KIG, keep it simple, or keep it smooth, keep it going. And it really is that thing of just finding yourself almost het up, mentally exhausted, hopefully not hitting the wall physically, but mentally just so tired, and you just think, oh, I want to stop, but the shoulders are really tight, and you just don't feel like your legs are turning over, they're just made of lead. And so somehow it's just to keep it smooth, it's just to relax the system, just concentrate a little bit on the cadence, maybe pick a target just a couple hundred meters ahead, and just try to get there. Maybe take on board, you know, just a little sugary thing, just try and trick the brain into an endorphin release, and then just get cracking with it. But yes, it would be good to see some running mottos entered in the live stream comments. Oh, this is a good one. I think this is a universal one that everybody should use. Oh, no, this one. There we go. Sorry about that. So Mike, you've got this, Mike, and I think that's one I'm going to have to use for myself. If you don't know who I am, my name's Ray Whitsby, but I think I can just say, go on, keep going, Mike. Bit of an interesting one to use on that one. Let's see, who else have we got? Yes, I like
the one you had from. I think the one you had from Natalie was quite. You know, we'll go back to that one, but yeah, nearly there. Nearly there's a good one. But Natalie, you put Natalie's one up there to say she doesn't have a motto, but she counts. When I first started doing 10Ks, half marathons, and, you know, marathons, I used to have someone once said to me, when you get to a point where you don't think you can go any further, just count from 1 to 100. And once you get to 100, start again. Yeah. And you suddenly realize, once you count to 100, how much further down the track you've got. So I think, yeah, so Natalie, I think that's an absolutely brilliant one. I don't know if I can love hills. I don't know if I can love hills that much.
Love hills. It takes a lot. I mean, that's grace. That's digging deep to really love the hill. But yeah, I think it was Paula Radcliffe who said something along those lines as well. Just count to 100 sequentially. When you get to 100, either start again or count backwards. And I've done that as well in my deepest, darkest place out on a run. And you're right, it is surprising just to distract your mind just for a little bit longer. Running with headphones, I think, is an invaluable thing. Obviously, if you're safe enough, you're running on the streets, running crossroads. But if you're doing a lot of trail running, just putting the tunes on and just focusing on something else other than the pain that's going on in the system. Let's just bring up this one. This is Debs, who says, I am strong, I am powerful, I am beautiful. And there is no truer statement said, Debs. We agree. Okay, what are we going to do this summer? Obviously, we're going to get out there and run. We can run, whether it's by ourselves or in groups of 6 that are socially distanced. But the question we've got to ask ourselves is, what is the best thing to put on your foot this summer? Simon, have you got some recommendations for us, please? Well,
to my immediate left, I've got 2 pairs of my running trainers that I've been wearing for a while. But I think everyone has different, you know, foot styles, gaits, and analysis and things like that. So, you you know, what I might be using might not be great for anyone else. But I found that I have a you've just seen that as well, have you? That's also, yes, I think Natalie, I think that's a very, I think we should wear trainers and things, so that's good. But you know, I've always been an Asics fan. I've always found that they support my size 12 feet quite well, and the width of my feet. I've been using GT 2000s for quite a while, and had to throw out a pair of mine last week because the sole had almost worn to the gel part in the back. So I'm currently running on my Asics Gel Plus 11s, which are almost out as well, and my Gel Cumulus 20s, which are the ones I kind of have been wearing for a bit.
I love that, just for the colour. That's a very, my wife just buys things for the colour, and I've just had that response. I love the look of those.
Yeah, but I have just bought myself a new pair of runners. They're due to turn up either today or Monday, and they're the Brooks Ricochet. So these are the Brooks Ricochets. Ooh, yeah. And obviously Brooks is a sponsor of Parkrun as well. So I've heard some really good things about Brooks. So I thought I'd give them a go, see how they are. I know that there are a few people that wear them around Eastbourne Parkrun and obviously everywhere else. But you know, so I thought I'd give them a go. So, but there's loads of different places out there, and you know, there are obviously local shops that can do gait analysis for you. And just give you understanding of what may be best for your running style and things like that. So, you know, yeah. Asics have been a personal favourite of mine. I'm trying some Brooks, but I say there's lots of different out there. What about you?
Well, yes, I can certainly vouch for the Brooks. I use a pair of Brooks Ghost 11s, and they're just coming to the end of their life cycle. They're for the road, but I've also got these boys for the trail, the Hokers. These are the Speedgoat 3s. They do have Speedgoat 4s now, but it actually has better coloration, I think, to suit my taste. But the problem with these ones is that they're so good that the tread is still deep. They haven't worn down at all, and I have hammered out probably about 500 kilometers in them. The stitching is still intact, the rubber's still intact. They are comfortable, great performance over hill and dale, and in all weathers and all conditions. Probably not in the deepest of muds. The lugs on these, I think, are only about 6 millimeters, but they do have a really good performance. But I think, as you've already intimated, if you can actually get to a shop where they can look at your running gait and make some recommendations, it certainly save you a lot of hassle. But equally, even going through that, I think you have to try certain pairs and get out there into the conditions, just see how you're adapting to them. And I think you do end up with several pairs for a season if you're not careful. But once you found a pair, once you found a make and model that works for you, probably you do end up being quite loyal, because you don't want to take the risk, and they can be quite expensive. Certainly, if you've got 3 or 4 different pairs, you know, if you've got something for the road, you've got something for the marathon. Road, you've got something for the trail, you've got something to go for the in-between shoe, you've got a recovery shoe, and then maybe you've just got a speed work shoe. It's insane. So I've probably got about 5 pairs at the moment for different conditions and in different stages of needing replacing. But yeah, I think so. For this season, we've got big thumbs up for the Hokers. For the trail, we've got the Asics for the road, and I think the all-rounders are probably the Brooks. They're the ones. But you know, please comment below. You know, which ones do you?
I think
some Brooks fans out there, Bryony, eh?
Yeah, and I think, you know, if you are local to Eastbourne, there is there's the Tempo shop behind the Arndale Centre, or not the Arndale Centre now, behind the Beacon Centre. Apologies, in Susan's Road, and they. You know, they can do gait analysis and give you some independent advice on what's best for you. But I say there's lots of other places. If you're not local to here, there's obviously lots of, you know, just Google your local running store and they should be able to give you the best advice for you, really.
That's it. And just some of the advice beyond that is just to say, if you've got some from the internet, try them out around the home. Don't take them outside. Just embed your feet in them for a short while. Just see how they feel. If they haven't been taken outside, you should be able to return them and get a full refund, or try a different make, different model. So yeah, hopefully it's not the end of it. Unfortunately, I did that with one pair, took them outside, did a 5K run, that was fine. Did the 10K run, that was fine. Did something just above 10K, and it was painful. Never known anything like it. So they're just sat on my shelf now gathering dust. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it goes sometimes. All right. Any other Brooks lovers out there? Oh, just raised a question. Duncan Taylor asked, how many pairs of trainers do people own? He says 5. I think I've got about 5. Mike Thompson says 3 pairs of Rad to Rail. Oh, is that Road to Rail? road to trail. Got it. Yep, that makes sense as well. So yeah, there's something for every occasion. And I think I've since further up in the comments that somebody says, yeah, let's just put on some Crocs and flip-flops. Could you run in flip-flops? I mean, seriously? Now, I do have a very friendly vegan runner, apart from trying to convince me to take up veganism. It's also to go minimalist as well, and run barefoot. But I'm not sure I could do that. Have you ever done it, Simon, run barefoot?
Unfortunately, due to having a limb length discrepancy due to a car accident years ago, I have to wear insoles, so I have to wear shoes. I can't run barefooted. But I used to look at the Vibram 5 fingers for barefoot running, and they are fantastic apparently. So I've got a few friends that swear by them. So, if you're looking at barefoot running, Vibram 5 fingers, possibly something to look at there.
Fantastic. So there you go. For this season, there's plenty to choose from. Just to get out there, try them, and report back, find out what really works for you this year. Okay, I think we should get on to the next segment, and we've got to look at the 5K funnies. So we did issue a request for the best jokes that relating to running out there. And we did get some responses, some real howlers, some real groaners. So let's go through them. The first one that I picked up was this one. Yes. Okay. If I cut Usain Bolt, what am I? If I cut Usain Bolt, what am I? A bolt cutter. We need some tumbleweed. It's terrible. Okay, so that's in number one. Yes, here we go. Why did the vegetarians stop running cross country? They didn't like meat.
Oh.
I mean, crikey, these aren't even going to make it to the Christmas cracker list at this rate. Simon, have you got a couple?
Yes, and just to reiterate what Natalie has put, if you can put that on the screen, send not Mike's jokes. Unfortunately, Natalie, yes, they are. But I've got two. So what do you get when you run in front of a car? Tired.
Oh, no.
And also then what do you get when you run behind a car? Exhausted.
Oh man. You've got to ask, did he actually come up with these himself? Has he spent years honing and perfecting these jokes? Okay, for the last one.
I think he has his own book, Mike Thompson Dad Jokes.
Brilliant. And that's probably number one bestseller for Father's Day that's just around the corner. So the final joke for the 5K funnies, 5K funnies. What do runners do when they forget something? They have to jog their memory. It is bad. Thankfully, we got through that largely unscathed, I think. But we shall see. Right, so that's bringing us towards the end of the show. So I think what we need to do is just go through the answers to the quiz. So this is the photo from the first ever park run. And if you count them up, not including the race director, we've got 13 runners in there. So it was only 13 at the first ever park run in Bushy Park, UK. The answer to the second question is 20. In how many countries does Parkrun operate? It is 20 around the world. And of course, they're hoping to expand that once lockdown is over and we can resume operations. And then finally, Andy Badley with 13 minutes and 48 seconds is the quickest parkrun time ever. And that time is just insane. I mean, it's just unfathomable to do that over an off-road park run as well. Simon, you just posted 21:08 this morning, 13:48. How does that?
I was looking at some of the figures actually. I think the average finish time for a park run is 28:52. So if you run below that, that's obviously great. If you run, walk, jog after that, that's great as well. But to think that he ran his park run before an average park runner has done half of their park run, that's insane to me.
Yeah,
that's too quick.
World apart, and it's no wonder he was part of the Olympic squad as well. I think now that he had a lot of injuries. He spent a number of years in rehab and going through some crises himself, and he has now returned to running. He's part of the running channel. It's a British community on YouTube, well worth checking out. And he did a challenge recently of trying to go sub 15. Didn't quite make it. He got a niggling injury that exacerbated itself, but he did manage to run a sub 16 minutes, and quite frankly, even sub 16 minutes in my book is still insanely quick, and just something that I only ever dream of. It will never happen, unfortunately. Those days, I don't think I ever had them for them to have been gone. But hey, we're all in this, for our own personal gain. We don't use it to, as a race, certainly in the park run. We use it to run and to take the enjoyment where we can. The only person that we should be racing against is ourselves. Yeah.
Definitely.
Right. So that does bring us to the end. So just some final words to say for the next live stream event we hope to host in 2 weeks' time. And just before the Stars and Strides, a week before the Stars and Strides. But for that particular show, hopefully we'll be looking at some things like approaches to safe running attitude, how to keep motivated, individual health, some running technical fixes. How can we actually increase our speed? I'm not sure there's anything apart from illegal drugs, and even then probably need a rocket launcher to get that kind of speed out of anybody's legs. And so how can you increase your running speed and just improve upon your own personal times, your personal bests, your personal records? But please do send in ideas for upcoming features. Contact us. The emails and web addresses are all in the description below this feed. On the replay, so if you weren't here live, you can still comment and interact on the replay. So just comment down below. The video will be posted, I hope, later today. And also, just a personal plug, please check out other videos on the Aspiring Runners channel. It would be great if you like what we're doing. Please come and support me so we can host future events like this. So just to say, Simon, thank you so much for joining me in the studio today. Really appreciate your input. Appreciate you coming in after a run. 21:08, my goodness me. So yeah, half an hour, 20 minutes left for somebody to try and beat his run this week. So just to say thank you also for joining us on the live stream. Really appreciate your input. Everybody's participated this morning. And yeah, just have a great rest of the day, great Saturday. And yeah, we'll hopefully catch you next time. So take care and goodbye.
Guys.